Now let's get an update. We now cross to our reporter, Simphiwe Makhanya. Simphiwe, thank you so much for your time. So earlier on, we heard that, from the IFP president saying that the party's policies must evolve with time. What can we expect from this conference today?
Indeed, Unati, a lot of policy deliberations are expected to be, laid out today on the first day of this two-day policy conference of the Inkatha Freedom Party, which is held in Empangeni. Here, earlier on, of course, we spoke to the president of the IFP, Mr. Velenkosini Hlabisa, who basically gave marching orders to the delegates in terms of how they should conduct themselves during this two-day, process of developing the party's policies. And of course, one particular issue which President Hlabisa, spoke about was that of the IFP deciding to, form the multi-party charter, saying that it was critical for the IFP, to at this particular stage, decide who it wants to work with. Should there be a situation where after the 2024, national and provincial polls, a coalition of some sort would be needed in order for the political parties to, govern the country. And of course, President Hlabisa was reacting to the critics that have been saying that perhaps it was premature of the IFP to decide how it's going to, deal with the issue of coalitions even before, the elections get underway. And of course, another critical issue that party delegates here are expected to talk about at length is the issue of the economic policies, which the IFP is saying basically that the ANC's policies have failed this country, citing the issue of high unemployment, youth unemployment, citing the issue of the current load shedding that this country is experiencing. We had the President Hlabisa saying that in order for the country's economy to grow, we must have stability in the energy sector, and of course promising that if the IFP is elected into government, they would ensure that they prioritize the issue of energy in this particular country. And of course, other issues that are expected to be deliberated upon are issues which pertain to the country's foreign policies, and also the issues of the immigration policies. We had the IFP leaders saying that perhaps South Africa needs to prioritize its own residents before it starts opening up the borders in terms of allowing other Africans to come here in the country and explore various opportunities that still do exist. And of course, Unati, we are expecting that there's going to be a media briefing at about 5 this afternoon, once the commissions have sort of threshed out what is going to be the policy direction of the country pertaining to a number of subcommittees that are still being discussing rather the issues that are going to be outlined in that particular media briefing. Let me step out of the shot and allow my colleague Sbu Tembe to give our viewers a sense of what is currently happening. And I'm sure our viewers can see that the delegates are currently on a lunch break, and after which they will then get back to the plenary where they are going to resume with the discussions of the policies that are expected to be conducted from today up until tomorrow. And of course, we heard earlier on the president of the IFP saying that this particular process is preceded by an extensive consultative process which the party embarked upon before coming to this policy conference. Unati.
Now, Simphiwe, before I let you go, of course, you had a very interesting discussion yesterday with the IFP's Nkulelo Hlengwa, speaking, of course, about, the conference, what they are going to expect, but also giving his comment, based on that Pretoria High Court ruling, setting aside President Cyril Ramaphosa, appointment of King Misizulu, and that being set aside. Just talk to us a little bit about, some of the takeaway points that he gave you when you were in conversation with him.
essentially what the IFP national spokesperson Simphiwe Makhanya said, regarding that particular judgment which came yesterday, he said that as the party, they respect the judgment, they note it, but of course they are going to now allow the AmaZulu royal family to begin the process of dealing with this judgment and also explaining to the nation how it is going to deal with this particular judgment. In fact, a statement coming shortly there from the AmaZulu royal family being sent by the spokesperson of the King Misuzulu Kazwelithini, that's Prince Africa, who basically said that they note the judgment and of course they are still going to read and understand it before they can determine what is going to be their next course of action. And of course the IFP Unati has been thorough in saying that they don't want to be seen to be taking sides in this particular matter, but of course they want the AmaZulu royal family to be the ones that are going to be deciding what is going to be the way forward.